Welcome, Dr. Sundara Raman, for sharing your time with ITJ, Indian Textile Journal magazine. So how are you, sir?
I'm good, thank you, Mr. Rao, and thank you once again for extending this invitation. Pleasure to be part of this webinar series.
So just now, recently, Dr. FM has announced his package with the much awaited package for the industry. So what is your initial reaction to this?
Yes, I guess this is a really off the just off the TV kind of situation where the announcement has happened just about 10 minutes back. At the outset, it looks like a fantastic deal for MSMEs. The lines of credit that are going to be extended to all those companies below 100 crores turnover is quite significant, and I think should go a long way in tiding over any crisis that the COVID-19 has caused. So, from an MSME perspective, and particularly being technical textile industry, most of the players in this industry in our country are all MSME people, sub 100 crore turnover. So, all of them will significantly benefit by these measures. Now, of course, the other measures of protectionism in terms of sub 200 crore global tenders not to be made, them to be made local, and the other aspects given to even stressed MSMEs, and those 6 aspects that cover MSMEs, I think are extremely significant, and I have to congratulate and thank the government, the FM, the PM for taking what I think is a significant step. What it means for larger companies, we have to wait and see. That's not being announced now. Let's hope for the best. But for MSMEs, I think it's a wonderful announcement that has come today.
Okay. So could you brief us about your company, Shiva Texyan, and how has been the journey since inception?
Shiva Texyan was originally a pure play cotton spinning company. We started in 1996. Before that, of course, we had some other entity which we merged inside. But in a sense, we've been around for more than almost close to 3 decades right now. And somewhere in 2010, we started a journey of getting into technical textiles. So today, in addition to cotton spinning, the company is also a leader in India in the areas of coating and lamination and related technologies. These are broad-based technologies with wide applications. So today, the company has a turnover of around 400 crores and operates in different segments like hygiene, in medical textiles, in sports textiles, in defense, high-end defense technical textiles, and a lot of niche areas which are pretty interesting. And so we define ourselves as a technical textile company and which operates in multiple niche areas of textile business.
So you also export?
We do export certain products. For example, in our coating divisions, we are probably the largest artist canvas fabric exporters out of India right now. We also do a lot of signage fabric exports, which go into digital signage printing that predominantly goes into Europe. Each business has got its own niche. For example, our hygiene business would be more internally focused, looking at the domestic market. So about 5 to 7% would be on exports. The coating, like you mentioned, is a 100% export-oriented approach. And there are different aspects of our business which have an export connotation. But I would say on an overall basis, about 65% of our turnover would be domestic and about 35% of our turnover would be on exports.
As someone who is closely associated with technical textile, how do you see the progress of technical textile industry in India?
Well, so like as you said, I've been associated at least as an association level for about 7 to 8 years now, and have been in this industry for about 15 years right now. And for 5 years, I was the vice chairman of ITA, and the last year and a half, I've been the chairman ITA. The growth in India has been quite slow, in my opinion. The per capita consumption, now I'm talking about from a consumption basis, the per capita consumption of technical textiles in India is at a very low level, even compared to other developing countries. Forget the developed countries like the Western countries and the United States. In India, there has been broadly a lack of legislation on the mandating the use of technical textiles, because these are functional textiles that, as you know, are needed for a wide variety of protective and other reasons. So the mandating has not really gone down, and also the general understanding of the advantages of using these materials is also has not been very high in India. And as a result, I would say the growth of technical textiles in India has not been that very well planned. But having said that, if you look at the global technical textile industry, you would see that barring a few outliers who are very large companies, particularly when you look at Europe, which has got many of these companies, most of them are family-led SME companies where the driving force is a very strong level of technical knowledge and a very strong sense of innovation by the entrepreneur. I can very confidently say that this spirit exists to a great extent in India. Within our country, you will find quite a lot of companies at 20 crores, 30 crores, 40 crores with, I would say, almost world-class level kind of technologies, even given all the impediments that we have to normally face. The impediments are probably more, like I said, in terms of the market, but also because of the raw materials, which predominantly have to be imported as they are mostly synthetic in nature, and a few other things which skew us or which are skewed against us when we actually get into the global market and try to be competitive. Having said that, I hope that those are things of the past, and with the recent activity, we would see a huge kind of stimulus and boost in this area in our country.
So you just touched upon the challenges that this industry faces. One obviously is the availability of the raw material. What about the technology or the machinery side? Are we self-sufficient in that area?
When we look at technical textiles, you're looking at a very, very broad spectrum of manufacturing activities. So unlike in some of the other segments of textiles, let's say spinning or in terms of garmenting, I'm unable to give an overarching kind of statement to say we are sufficient and we are not. I would say certainly in the areas of like coating, Indian capacities are as good as what exists outside. In many areas like weaving and such, the equipment capability is catching up in this country. In the areas of lamination, in many of these areas, we are actually having a significant Indian manufacturing base, predominantly based in the western part of our country, who are coming up to international standards, if not cutting edge, I would say at least acceptable standards right now. There also remain a lot of areas where we are non-existent. If you take the single largest segment of technical textiles today is the area of non-wovens, where you have various non-wovens like different the spun bond, spun lace, etc., and including the current darling of the crowd, which is melt blown. And we do not have any manufacturing capabilities for any of these materials within our country, and which is something to look at, because these are the products that go as substrate into other technical textiles. So they are the building blocks for other technical textiles, and hence form a very, very important part of the chain. I would say in these areas, the availability of machinery at this point of time remains much to be wanted within the country, and should be one of the core areas that the government and the industry should look at developing.
In the recent budget, the government had announced the formation of Technical Textile Mission. Has there been any progress on this front?
The Mission on Technical Textiles, with an outlay of a little more than 1,400 crores, were announced, and we were actually having a great anticipation as an industry, looking forward to seeing what happens. As the chairman of the association, I can also say that the ministry was working really, burning the midnight oil to decide what to do on this particular aspect. but I think it has been slightly derailed or put on a backtrack because of the COVID-19 crisis, and where the nation's focus shifted, the ministry's focus shifted into providing adequate numbers of PPE into the market. But now that we have gone through that phase and there seems to be a certain level of self-adequacy, the ministry is looking at it, and I'm given to understand that within the next 10 to 15 days, concrete announcements would be made on how it's going to go forward. Now, what they have announced, even at the outset, is that the large chunk of the money would go into making specialist fibers that are not currently available within the country. So we look forward to that. That will not give immediate gains, but in the long term is a crucial aspect for India emerging as a powerhouse in technical textiles. The rest of the funds, which will go into market development assistant, into R&D, into shoring up, outreach activities and such, as well as into the TTEPC, which is being planned. I'm sure we will get clearance all that within the next 10 to 15 days. And like I said, given the highlight that technical textiles have had in combating the COVID-19 crisis, all the more we expect that we will have a very, very proactive policy that comes out within the next couple of months.
So, as an association, Indian Technical Textile Association, what has been your recommendations to the government for the growth of the industry?
ITA has been working very closely with the textile ministry for quite some time. I would say over the past 36 months, we have intense engagement with the government to explain to them what we think are the ways to go forward. One of the most important things that we are asking is that we are asking for mandating the use of technical textiles among the various ministries of the government and various organizations, for which, of course, a standard has to be created. And the textile ministry has been very proactive in pushing the ISO, the BIS, to actually create the standards for technical textiles. And that has happened on one side. On the other side, HSN codes have been announced for individual technical textiles, which are previously under the other category. So today we have categorized these items into distinct identities, and we have actually characterized them in the form of BIS standards. The next thing that has to be done is mandating, and various exercises towards this extent has happened across various ministries, spearheaded by the principal scientific advisor to the PM, by the Niti Aayog, and by the textile ministry itself. So we look forward to that happening. The second most important thing that we've been representing throughout is the ability of Indian industry to have access to raw materials at the most competitive prices. If we do not have raw materials at the most competitive prices, we would not survive in the export market. And hence, looking at duty structure rationalization, maybe even duty structure exemption for essential items that are needed to be brought in the short term, and the developing of those items on a strategic mode, so that we have local manufacturing and support basis in the medium to long term, are the aspects that we have been speaking about. This is the one single overriding requirement, I would say, for the technical textile industry to grow. Because irrespective of whatever subsidies and help is given in terms of the capital investments, the lowest per unit manufacturing cost is the single enabler of competitiveness on a global scale. And that only comes from two aspects: cost of money, cost of materials. Cost of people being a given that it's not going to be much of a difference in knowledge intensive industries like ours. So cost of money, like you said, that's a larger perspective. But from terms of cost of raw materials, we think if the government does something there, the industry will grow tremendously. And that has been the representation of ITA predominantly to the government.
So this recent COVID-19 pandemic, there has been a rise in demand for technical textiles, specifically in PPE suits and face masks. What kind of opportunities does it represent to Shiva Texyan?
Shiva Texyan, I would say, luckily, has been well poised to work on this opportunity that has come up in terms of protective equipment on the COVID-19 crisis. We as laminators have been having the capabilities of using barrier films and hence being able to create the right kind of synthetic blood penetration resistant fabric that's required for use by doctors and other users of PPE equipment in these times. Shiva Texan, because of its ability, because of its past experience in working with the military and other high specialty applications, also had the requisite seam sealing and seam closing technologies, which are also part of the complexity of making these special PPE garments. Today, our knowledge of filtration, our knowledge of barrier and insulation fabrics has also allowed us to get into making of a range of protective masks with the highest level of protection and the very high level of comfort. Tomorrow, we believe that the lead is going to be in terms of antibacterial and antiviral solutions being applied to textiles in conjunction with the various other barrier remedies to form what I would call world-class complete protection solutions, which is what the world is now expecting from the market. We continue to be a leader in these areas, and as the market opens up with a very good amount of, I would say, support from the Secretary Textiles in the Ministry of Textiles, companies like ours would go on into the international market very rapidly to get certified and then go on to actually bridge the demand that is now being created for these kind of products. One, we have got products today that meets the Indian standard and which is also a global standard. It's not a standard that's been created just for India. But two, where companies like us hope to make a mark and where I'm sure will make a mark is in evolving new products to reach a much higher level of protection and comfort and practicality for the user than what is currently existing globally. So COVID-19 has been a fillip, not just for Shiva Texan, but many companies like me, like ours, to actually use those latent technologies they have to boost our innovation skills. And I'm very sure that I know, I would not like to talk about it openly at this stage. I know that you're going to very soon get a world-class next generation PPE gown out of India. That's better than anything else you will see outside. And we, as one of the front runners, are going to be part of that wave. So it looks very good for Shiva Texan at this point in time.
So can we say that COVID-19 episode has created opportunity for India to ensure you have a long-term gain for Indian technical textile industry?
Well, Mr. Rao, I would definitely say that. You see, right now, what you're seeing is a complete disruption of global chains and global things. When you have a standing order, it's very difficult to break a standing order. It's very difficult to shake the tree when everything is normal. But today things are in disarray. What is of need today was probably not needed in this quantity before, I think. So what has happened is that there is an opportunity that has come out, which has suddenly made Indian companies to be almost on a level playing field to people who have been doing this for 20 years or 20 years and beyond. Because those companies' supply chains have been disrupted. They have to tweak those products in a little way to actually make sense in this crisis. So the advantage of these global companies over Indian companies, the gap is reduced to a great extent. That is the opportunity for Indian companies today to jump on and grab that opportunity and go. And our people are raring to go. I can assure you that what I've seen in the last 45 days of the high level of entrepreneurship I've seen with Indian companies, not only technical textile companies, but garmenting companies from the AEPC and a lot of people who are not in technical textiles, but who could rapidly make the change to come into this field is just about amazing. So absolutely, COVID-19 has given a great fillip to the technical textile industry, particularly the pro-tech industry of India. And I think we will be on the world map for quite some time in terms of being a powerhouse for PPE manufacturing in this country. And a lot of companies will benefit out of it.
So finally, what are your growth plans for your company?
Well, that's a tough one to tell you at this point of time because we are not yet through this crisis. We are, in my opinion, we have not yet reached the peak of the bell curve on this crisis. With all the movement of people, the disruption, it's going to be a very tough year for all of us. As a company, at a macro, we see that we are going to shrink in terms of our turnover because we are going to shed areas which we think are non-core, or at least suspend those areas for quite some time. We are going to be very cash focused, so the aggressive growth that comes out of giving credit oriented policies into the market is not going to be there. So we think a lot of business will shrink. Our businesses in the conventional sphere will shrink significantly. On the other hand, we expect our PPE business segment to grow quite significantly. So at a macro, I think we are going to see a significant contraction of our top line with not much impact or probably a positive impact on our bottom line. But it is very fluid at this point for me to comment.
Okay. Thanks, Dr. Sundararaman, for sparing your time and also sharing the insight into the technical textile industry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Rao. It's been a pleasure.